Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Mick McKeown. I apologize if I mispronounce it in advance. Mick McKeown. Mick is the certified Book Yourself Solid coach. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Mick. Mick, welcome.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Mohammed. It's great to be here.
I appreciate very much. Mick, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to call yourself or become yourself certified book yourself solid coach?
Well, really for me, it was when I got into business. I'm the son and grandson of some pretty fantastic entrepreneurs. My grandfather ran a business. He's still alive today. He's 95 years old. He still sells real estate full time. He's had it for 60 years, third generation business. And I'm also the son of a general contractor with my dad. And then my mom and my grandfather were politicians, and they, really knew the importance of networking and community and connection. So you kind of put those two things together, and Michael Port and Book Yourself Solid just was the perfect mix of business and networking community. So that's really how I kind of taken the aspects of both sides of my family and be able to kind of create something that's really special.
Wonderful. That's a very unique set of relationships from a business
Yep.
and from a government, both
Yes.
networks together,
Mhm.
So you tell us a little bit more when you say book yourself solid. Everybody want to book and the solid. It's about
Absolutely.
absolutely. Tell us more what that really mean for a business owner who is watching this now.
Sure. So, we have, the idea of booking yourself solid is something that you can look into if you're a personal trainer, a hairstylist, accountant, any type of business. It's just figuring out the way to best bring in revenue. And the way I approach Book Yourself Solid is, there's three types of client, right? You have your business to business, your business to government, or your business to consumer. And I work with primarily people who are looking to do business to business and switching over into the business to government space. So I kind of teach them utilizing this Book Yourself Solid techniques and putting that to the government space as well. It's a really good niche. And personally, from my perspective, it's been pretty lucrative. Our clients have won over $60 million in the past year, utilizing this type of technique.
Mick, can you just help me to get a 10% of that one this year?
Yeah.
Just 10%.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for 100%. Just 10%.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that if you look at it, the government is going to be spending $1.9 trillion this year, and 25% of every federal dollar needs to go to a small business. And if you look around at all the small businesses that are out there, how many are actually applying for that dollar? And that's 25% of a nearly $2 trillion pie is pretty huge. So I think that that's one of the things that people don't realize is that you as a solopreneur or a small business can, be a part of that small business set aside if you just, do three things of keeping your head on straight, looking at the right opportunities, and being persistent.
That's it?
Yeah.
It seems simple, however, not easy to do.
Yeah, it's simple, but it ain't easy. That's for sure. And I think.
Okay, Mick, I'm going to put you on a spot. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in Atlanta,
Yeah.
solo person in business for almost over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Even a person like me, can you be more specific? Can you utilize something from this $2 trillion, even a 0.001%? I don't really care about anything else,
Yeah, well, absolutely. If you look at somebody we'll take example for you, and Atlanta's a great example due to the fact that it's not only a nice sized city, it's also the state capital. So you can look at it from, the city of Atlanta, Fulton County, whatever other counties are, DeKalb, whatever other counties are surrounding you. And then you can go up to the state level, whether it's, the state of Georgia. And then also with the state of Georgia, you have other opportunities in other government areas that you could work in. Who's running the airport, who's running the transit system. There's plenty of, who runs the water department, things of that nature. Then you can also go up to the federal government. And once again, in Atlanta, you have the CDC and other, there's military bases. And there's plenty of opportunity there. You have to go after it. And the thing is that the government isn't necessarily hiring new people. They're looking for technology and service providers to kind of fill in the blanks of what they need. So if you just take something like Atlanta, you can go at the city level, the county level, the state level, and that's not even including in Atlanta. You can also hit South Carolina, Florida, Alabama. There's plenty of other states that could utilize you because they might not have, or no one's applying for the opportunities in those states. And then you also look at, the CDC and the other areas that are stationed down in Atlanta. There's plenty of opportunity there. You just got to kind of go for it.
So amazing, Mick. You opened up some few things here. There were some dead cells here. That's why I have a little sparks now. It looks like I may end up in not interviewing so many people today. I may want to start exploring on this one. That's who I am. I want to maximize the outcome. Looks like I'm ignoring the big pie which is already available. Government is spending money which they don't even have. They're almost like a printing money. And I'm ignoring that altogether. So I'm not alone. There's so many solopreneurs. They think bureaucracy, red tape, I don't know anybody, and all those are like a self-rejection, self-talk to themselves, self-limitation beliefs. How you help them to overcome that part?
Well, so first there has to be a commitment to the government space. And everything you mentioned are reasons why someone might not want to be writing like a speculative proposal to go to the government. But there's another reason to look at the government, right? The government always pays on time. The check always clears, and they don't ever cancel your contract. So, I mean, if I could give you a client like that, that's a type of client you want. Someone who's going to...
Can you say it again? Because that's like music to my ears.
Sure. So the check always clears. Number one, they pay on time, and, they never cancel the contract. So the government has the space to you. The chances of you getting your contract canceled are not necessarily nil, but they're very small as long as you do what you're supposed to do. So I think that's one of the things that people don't realize in the space. And when it comes to the B2G space, the sales cycle is totally different than your B2B or your B2C. And when you're doing the B2B side of things, like that business to business stuff, 90 to 120 days, you're going to have a really good idea of where you stand. Government, like no one knows what's going to happen, so you have to have a little bit more patience. You can't see this right behind me. Oh, right there, on the other side of me. But it's when I was in the government space, the little logo or the motto that we had was hurry up and wait. And that's how you have to do the business to government space. You're going to have to hurry up, get all your stuff in, and then you're just going to have to wait. But the thing is, with the B2G space, the beauty of it not only is those three things I said: they pay on time, check always clears, they don't cancel the contract. It's the fact that you actually get to serve in a way that creates, you're able to kind of help push the narrative of where the government's going to go, whether it's your local community or at the federal level. And there's just plenty of opportunities there. You just kind of have to have that consistency and that persistency to be able to produce it.
Wonderful. Mick, you convinced me to have a serious thought on this one, and looks like hopefully someone else is watching, at least one person who may have the similar thoughts. Wonderful. So Mick, based on your years of experience of dealing with the B2G, B2B, so many other people are doing it. B2G is probably the best combination. Someone is diversifying the skill, do a B2B and add some B2G components, so that way you can have a patience and wait, and while you're running your cash flow from B2B customers. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes total sense. The thing is, once you get that B2G spot, you can use that as what I like to call your tent pole, right? You can put that up, and like you can use that revenue stream to make sure that your payroll's paid, everything's kind of going if you're looking to scale. Because there's only so many things that we can do to scale as small business and service providers, right? And, I think you see everyone going into ebooks and courses and other kind of passive income things. But if you're looking to truly build a traditional business, you need to offer multiple revenue streams. And, if you're going to try and do multiple revenue streams, if you're able to provide a service, why not try and provide it to the government? And I think the thing is that people don't realize the level of detail the government is looking for right now. Like I want to say just a few weeks ago, the government put out a $54 million contract for executive coaching. Not one coach is able to get to do all the executive coaching for the federal government. However, if you're an executive coach and you happen to be in Atlanta, why couldn't you do all the coaching for the 3,000 people who were at the CDC? And why couldn't you be the person who does the coaching for this level or that level? There's plenty of opportunity. People just need to kind of open their eyes to it.
Wonderful. Mick, my question is, what are the top 3 mistakes to avoid when you're dealing with B2G?
I think the first mistake to do is, and what people do is that they go all in on a proposal. So for those who don't know, is they're looking online, they see, oh, there's this proposal, totally perfect for it, and they have 3 days to turn it around. The first mistake you want to do is not try and rush something. So for those who are serious about the space, and one of the things that I preach is you start building out the information you need right away. And some of the information you need right away is you can do that today without, like, it doesn't cost you anything. Get an overview of what your company is, create a bio for what you do, and be able to tell in 3 to 5 sentences what what service you're trying to provide. Everybody offers 20 different types of services, but just hone in on 1 or 2 services that you're able to really focus in on and that you think the government would be interested in. So I mean, I think that's the number one the thing to avoid. Number 2 would be lack of follow-up. I don't understand why people don't follow up. If you didn't win the contract, call the procurement officer and say, can I do better? How do I improve?
Oh my God. Yeah.
People don't do things like that. Pick up the phone, say hello, explain where you're coming from. It could have been anything. It could have, like, I had a person who, they were furious they didn't get the deal. It was literally, they felt that this proposal was written for them, and the proposal required them to be able to do infographics. And nowhere in their response to the government did they mention the word infographic.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So it's like, how is the government going to pick you, even though you gave them everything they wanted, but you never once mentioned the word infographic?
Yeah.
Like, that's, so I mean, excuse me. That's some of the things that I think people do. And I think the third thing that I think is really super important is learning how to be proactive in the government space. And I think the mistake is everyone kind of sits and waits to see what comes out.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing preventing you from asking, what are you guys looking for in the next couple of months? It's not like a super secret. They might not tell you the exact date it's coming out, but you can very easily, there's industry days, there's procurement days, there's opportunities. The government isn't trying to hide from you. They're actually trying to be transparent. And when you have a procurement officer or someone who's looking to be a purchasing agent, they don't want to just pick the first person that comes in. They want to show their bosses, the mayor, the governor, the Senate, whoever, oh, we had multiple people bid. We had multiple people try and get this opportunity because doing business with the county of Atlanta or whatever is good for them. Look at what we got. And so if you can say, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, when is this coming up? They might tell you, oh, we're not looking at that for, till second quarter of 2022. Okay. Well, then, in the third and the fourth quarter of 2021, check up on them, see what's going on. It's the same type of sales cycle that people would do to a business without problems.
Yeah.
If you were looking at a business thing and you were at the Chamber of Commerce event and the florist down the street is going to be a great opportunity for you, and they're telling you, I'm not switching my provider till my contract expires at the end of 2021, you would be on that 3 times. You would come in and check on. But with the government, oh no, it got pushed back or this happened. The government's the same thing as any large organization, so I think you just have to kind of change your lens and your focus. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. I love your saying, hurry up and wait.
Oh, you just you get everything in and you just sit tight.
Just sit tight. Yeah, wonderful. So, Mick, based on your working with the government and B2B space, I'm sure you have some kind of failures in your life too, even though you're a pretty successful person. I want you to share your biggest failure of a business deal. What did you learn from it and how did you recover from that?
Well, I mean, everybody has, you just said, like, everybody has, business failures or business dealings that kind of go wrong. I think I kind of have 2 that come to mind.
Just pick the best one.
Oh, the best one. I think the best one for me, the biggest life lesson I learned, and which has kind of helped switch my model around for my business in general, was we were part of a larger group. So a couple businesses went in together to do a deal, and the person who brought us all together didn't fill out their paperwork correctly, and didn't have, and I wouldn't say that they lied or misled. They just weren't in the greatest position to do what they said they could do, just for lack of paperwork and a couple other minor things. And I think what I learned from that is, don't go in with people until you get an opportunity to kind of check on what everyone's doing. And it's I hate to say it this way, but it's like a trust but verify.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a sense of transparency there. If you can show someone else your things, and they see, and you see their things, and you can kind of just double check and have that check and balance. Because we were 4 months into an opportunity to find out that, we weren't not necessarily eligible for it, but they decided not to go with us because the big guy didn't do the right things at the right time and couldn't correct them in time.
And how did you recover from that?
Well, I've actually switched my model. So one of the things that I've done is, like, one of the things that I do as a Book Yourself Solid coach is make sure people, when they're entering the government space, that never happens to somebody ever again, by making sure that they have all their I's dotted and T's crossed, and how to make sure that they can kind of do everything that they need to do, so that when the opportunity does come, they're set. And because there was nothing more disappointing than, not being able to get that type of deal over, paperwork, for the lack of a better term.
Yeah, wonderful. Mick, what are your top 3 success secrets? Promise me your game is to give us your best ones, okay?
Oh, absolutely. I think the first one is going to be consistency and persistency. You have to consistently show up and be persistent in that showing up. And I think that people don't realize, like, you can't just knock on someone's door once or twice and then get, rejected by it. You got to kind of keep going back to the well. My second success secret is not always having to lead with what I need, instead of leading with, how can I serve? And I know that that might be something that, people kind of roll their eyes at, but sometimes you don't necessarily, especially in today's environment with the pandemic and everything else going on, sometimes it's just easier to share a story, or, a quick email, things of that nature. And it goes a long way. And I think the third thing is that I try to introduce people every single day. I pick a person, and you're kind of my person of the week. And I try to introduce you to 5 people within my network. And I think that people really get a value from that, especially as we're kind of secluded in our homes, or, depending on where we live, we might not be able to get out as much. So to have that opportunity to kind of connect people like that, I think has been nothing but really fantastic.
Yeah, when you keep connecting people, and good karma, whatever you put your own,
Absolutely.
back. Yeah. One more bonus, because I'm so greedy.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, one more success.
One more bonus. Yeah, I think the other one then that I would say that's been the biggest one of the other biggest things that I've been able to kind of do to kind of create this success environment is to change the way that I approach things. I think that if you're able to kind of create an environment for yourself to be successful, and the way I do it is I try and make sure that my day is in a way where I can really make the biggest difference. So my morning, I try to I look at myself as a farmer. I like to try and plant the seeds to grow my revenue. And then midday, when I talk to all my clients. I think that you should be talking to your clients as much as humanly possible. And then at the end of the day, the last thing that I'd like to do is just kind of review of anything else that's kind of still out there and moving the ball forward. I think the thing is that if you move the ball, even if it's a quarter of an inch every day, it's better than anything else you could do.
Wonderful. Mick, how the people who are watching this now can support you?
Oh, we visit my website. It's Pennovia. That's PENNOVIA.com. Or follow me or find me on LinkedIn. one of the things that I'm looking to do and really work with is, small business and solopreneurs and help them get into this B2G space and help them also if they want to be in the B2B space as well. I like to build pipelines utilizing, your personal network and kind of making sure that you have that sales focus.
Wonderful. The best way would be connect with the LinkedIn. That's a way because they can see your whole profile and see the kind of connect. LinkedIn is the best place for the professional and business networking. It's a good starting point.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mick, we are about to wrap up.
Sure.
And I'd like to ask you your guest experience today on the growth hacking secrets. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the growth hacking secrets?
Oh, I think today's been an absolutely fantastic experience. I really love the opportunity to talk about business in a focused manner, and being able to have such a lively conversation has been great.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Really appreciate it. What would you say as a final word?
For the final word, I would say is be consistent and show up. And if you're looking to grow your revenue, look past just the B2B market and look into the B2G market as well.
Be consistent and show up
Mhm.
every time, not one time.
Yep,
Every time.
every time. Yep, every hour on the hour.
Every hour on the hour. Thank you so much, Mick, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.
Oh, thank you.